The Subramaniam Shankaran. So this is the fifth video in the series towards Google Secure AI Framework. Now, this attack is actually called as a model exfiltration attack. Now, this attack is also something which is not new. Okay, there are a lot of proprietary applications. Okay, in the market, even before the proliferation of AI applications, the applications that were actually developed, okay, on the traditional for the traditional IT infrastructure face the same challenges. Okay, it's called as a piracy. People were stealing it and using it somewhere else. Okay, people are actually stealing it, again, trying to make a replica of it, again, trying to use it somewhere else. Now, when something is proprietary, there's actually a problem. Okay, when something is open source, you can actually copy it. Now, there were also open sources where the people had a wraparound. Okay, that means that the core is an open source technology, but they will have their own piece of code. Okay, surrounding that, and that made it proprietary. Okay, I have come across a lot of applications in last 2 decades, 2 decades where there was an open source that was available on the internet. Okay, and then people pick up that code and they add their own the UX, and then they have their proprietary way of actually doing it. Okay? They call that as a licensed, but it's based on an open source. Now, in the model exfiltration attack, okay, the problem is not with the data, because whenever in security we say the data exfiltration. Okay, so we have three controls, right? So the physical, technical, and then administrative. Whenever it comes to the technical control, we always say stopping the infiltration of the malicious traffic or maliciousness in any form, and the stopping the exfiltration of the sensitive data. In case of artificial intelligence, it is not only the security following the sensitive data, the security also follows the model, because the model is also something that we can tamper with. Because yesterday we saw a situation where the model source tampering. So model is also a gateway for the hackers to enter the network and steal your data. Let's look at what this model exfiltration attack is. See, model exfiltration attack, okay, it's called the model stealing. Okay, the adversary steals the model, okay, how it actually works. They can also do a reverse engineering to find out on how it actually works, so they can create a model, okay, in line with what they have actually stolen. Okay, a model is a proprietary property of an organization. Could be a proprietary property for an organization. There are a lot of websites where the model is actually available for a free download. Okay, you look into it. Kaggle.com. There are a lot of models that are available for free download, Hugging Face, and then GitHubs, etc. Okay. Now we don't have a problem with that. Nobody needs to exfiltrate that because it's already given to you. But the problem is only when if something is proprietary and you're trying to steal it. Okay, the goal of the hacker is to create the functionally equivalent copy of the victim's model. Okay, the adversary and the victim's model, stealing the intellectual property and competitive advantage gained through significant investment in R&D, compute power, and then data acquisition. It is very similar to a situation called as a transfer learning. Okay, transfer learning is genuine. Okay, it learns everything, and then you can make use of that learning done. Okay, for example, any training is an transfer learning. The trainer spends significant time in learning about a particular subject. Okay, and then in the turning that you are and then training, he teaches the students. So he's transferring the learning. Okay, what that is a natural intelligence, and the transfer learning is a concept. Okay, in AI. Okay, but in this particular case, they're not transferring the intellectual property; it's been stolen. Okay, that's called as a model exfiltration with respect to the model. Okay, how does model exfiltration attack actually works? Let me pull down my screen. Yeah, so querying the API. Okay, so you can query the application programming interface that is available to which you have got access. Thousands and thousands and thousands of queries. Okay, you learn, okay, from what is there. Okay, how does the model work? Now, this also a situation where, in fact, when I was delivering trainings on penetration testing, we used to create a virus using a tool called MS Venom. Okay, or as a part of the Kali Linux. So we use an encoder. Okay, very popular one is Shikadaganai, and we go for an iteration. Now, what we do is we need to find out whether the antivirus is able to antivirus applications are able to find this as a malware. So we do this MS of Venom. Let's say Windows meet up at a reverse TCP and as an Excel exe format and reverse TCP. So my IP address and port is usually 4444. You can actually, or otherwise you can change it. You generate this file, you upload it to virustotal.com. Okay, and you can see whether out of 64, now the 64 antivirus plus or minus 2, 3. Okay, 64 antivirus applications as a part of virustotal.com. And you can upload your file and see whether the antiviruses available on virustotal.com are able to identify this. How many of them are able to identify that? Now, more iteration, okay, and Shikadagarai, or I think there's an Obstub also available now. There are a lot of encoders actually. You choose the one which is very powerful or which is latest. Now, you can use these encoders and go for the iteration to upload it in virustotal.com to find out whether the malware applications available were able to identify this as an malware. Okay, if not, then that means that you have produced something which is perfectly a malware. None of the antiviruses can even look into that, or none of the antivirus can identify this as a malware. Now, the querying and then getting to know the internal working is something which much more sophisticated. Okay, in fact, if it's MS of Venom is actually a tool that is available for you to generate the malware. But otherwise, if there are malware developers, okay, so they can, I can bring in, I can install an antivirus on my system. Okay, I'll create a malware. Okay, I'll see whether the anti-malware software is in a position to identify that or not. Okay. Now, this is something which I can repeat, changing the features of the malware, okay, which I'm generating is a malware evasion technique. So the querying the API, okay, I can get to know on what are the internal working of the model. Okay, I can create something which is very similar. Okay, and almost the same. Direct server compromise. Okay, attackers. There's a vulnerability on the server in which the model is actually available, and the attackers have compromised the server and they have stolen the malware file. Okay, so this is also one of the ways by which the model exfiltration happens. Malicious model deployment is called AI to AI attack. It is like having, in the movie Hulk. Okay, there are similar characters that will actually fight. Okay, like AI is fighting the AI. Okay, in fact, the AI is so powerful. If it's a human attacking the AI, then we don't win that. Okay, because the computational power that the underlying infrastructure has. Okay, so what the hacker will actually do is he will have an AI, okay, application installed, and then he will make that AI application to fight with this AI platform to steal the model. That's called the model exfiltration. It's called as an AI to AI attack. Okay, so I'm going to have a separate video on this AI to AI attack anyway. Insider threats. See, there's a condition where the external attackers will compromise the server and steal the model. Okay, and in this particular case, it's your own employees who are stealing the model. If the identity and access management, okay, for the insider attacks are not clearly set. Okay, identity and access management for everyone. Okay, the 360-degree security is what you need to have. Now, if you trust your employees, okay, then there could be an possibility of a collusion attack. Okay, an external guy as a secret insider. Okay, to joining together to attack something or do the model exfiltration in this particular case. That could also be a possibility. Okay, so the insider threats to secure your model file, okay, from your employees. Okay, side channel attacks. It's actually research subject. Side channel attack is not only for this model exfiltration. Ever since the days, so we were trying to. I was because since 2008, I'm delivering trainings on CSSP. One of the attacks on the cryptography is model exfiltration, like the side channel attack. Sorry, side channel attacks, where you do the differential power analysis, and then the electromagnetic EMI signals that are emitted, okay, from the infrastructure, okay, which is going to process the cryptography. Okay, you learn about it. So timing attacks are there, differential power analysis are there. It's a very good subject, research subject. I can also use the side channel attack, okay, to find out side channel to exfiltrate this particular models. Okay, there is also a possibility. But more easier, okay, is having an external attacker or insider. Insider threat is the easiest one because there is an trust on the employees, right? So it's easy if you can tip somebody saying they'll pay you And if you find that you can sell it for $2 million or $3 million, and it said, I'll pay 50,000 US dollars, 500,000 US dollars. Can you please get this file for me? You have to choose the person who's vulnerable, and he will get the file for you. And then you can sell it for a skyrocketing price. Okay. So these are the attacks, the way it actually works. Risk and impact, intellectual property theft. A company is investing money, time, efforts, and everything to create a model, and somebody is stealing it. Okay, it's intellectual property theft. Okay, so they can, it's a violation. Like, it's like a piracy or stealing somebody else's patent, or somebody else's, what do you say, we have patent, copyrights, etc., right? As a part of the IPR. So stealing somebody else's property, bypassing the licensing. Okay, you don't pay for the licenses. Okay, the original company loses the revenue. Security weaknesses. Okay, the stolen models can be reverse engineered to find the security weaknesses. It can be exploited to bypass the security system. Okay, so in fact, if this is published, it will cause a cascading effect, saying that if it's going to pass on the network of the hackers that okay, this application, the model has got this vulnerability, and everybody will start targeting the applications that have got this models inbuilt, AI application. Further, malicious use. Total model can be fine-tuned for malicious purpose, such as generating large-scale misinformation. Okay. Now, the model, okay, it's going to be a Gen AI model. It can be used for the false purpose. Okay, large-scale misinformation, developing advanced malwares also. Okay. Model obfuscation. Now, the mitigation technique, whether there are mitigation strategies. So, access control segmentation ensure that there is a 360 degree security, 360-degree identity and access control. Okay, on your model infrastructure, model serving infrastructure, and where you have stored the model, so that exfiltration doesn't happen. Hardware security, go for utilize secure enclaves. This is a very big topic. Okay, we'll have a separate video on that. API monitoring and then rate limiting. Monitor the API querying pattern. Okay, if you're going to have a secure AI gateway, it can actually help you to ensure, okay, if there is an attack or querying that's been made, etc. It can also secure against prompt injection, etc. We are going to have a separate section on secure AI gateway, okay, with respect to AI security officer training. Model obfuscation. Okay, so if you look at the model file, it's not very easy to understand. Okay, in fact, I had seen a lot of the applications. Okay, the young developers generating applications. If you look at the source code, okay, naturally they're all obfuscated. Okay, that's not the intention, but naturally they're all obfuscated. Okay, that means they don't have they don't do the indentations and all properly. Okay, but it's actually good when you look at the code. Okay, nobody can read that. Okay, so you can go for obfuscation. Okay, and then employee education, tell them disciplinary actions. Okay, and then teach them about AI and what are the securities parts of it, vulnerabilities, what are the threats that are available, so that they themselves can help you to stop that. Model validation, implement rigorous training and validation process before you engage, deploy something from a third party or public repositories. Okay, this can also ensure that if there are vulnerabilities as a part of it, okay, and then you can secure your infrastructure. This might not directly help you in exfiltration of the model, because the model itself is from a different source. But what could happen is, if the model is exfiltrated and somebody has model source tampering attacks we discussed yesterday, right? So in that particular way, it can also secure you. Okay. So these are the trainings that we actually have: AI security officer, AI data protection. Now, data protection and AI is not two separate things. If you look at the 7 pillars of AI governance, one of the pillars is privacy. So the governance officer should know the data protection. Okay, there is no ignorance is not a bliss. Okay, so join us for AI data protection, AI officer. Okay, and then AI governance officer and risk officer. All these trainings are distinct. Okay, and beautifully tailored to the needs. And lead implementer and lead auditor as well. In fact, lead implementer dual certification, including 21502. Okay, which is a project management guideline. Thank you very much. This is Subbu. Stay subscribed to have all the news and updates about the artificial intelligence. Cheers, and bye bye.